We may seek her or spend our life in flight from her, but she always waiting in the garden.
A big part of doing this piece for me is participating in art which has been forbidden by the Taliban in Afghanistan. It's heartwarming that I'm able to do something here with all the freedom in the world that unfortunately the Afghan people can no longer do. But I hope that we are able to raise some much needed money and awareness for the cause through this piece of work.
So the Homebody Kabul live stream project is a play reading that we did online over social media to share this story, which is a play by Tony Kushner, written over 20 years ago, but it's about the story of Afghanistan under Taliban rule then as it was in the late 1990s. And Tony Kushner is an amazing playwright and manages to capture a kind of a strong political backdrop and really push the personal narratives to the forefront, so we care about this situation and we care about all the people involved in their lives. This particular project really came about watching the events unfold and the kind of tragic humanitarian disaster really that's happening in Afghanistan. What we have as artists and as a theatre company is the ability to tell stories and raise awareness and hopefully raise a little bit of support and financial support at the same time. We've asked, did some homework on what the community actually was feeling like they wanted to support as well, rather than, me outside of this scenario, but what the Afghan community was directly wanting to support at the time, and that was quite important.
Mahbooba's Promise was established by my mother, Mahbooba Rawi, about 25 years ago. And she dedicated her life to the orphans and widows of Afghanistan, so hence the name Mahbooba's Promise. And the ultimate goals of the charity is to empower, vulnerable women also economically, to have a sustainable income in their own right. So all the money raised today will go into a camp that is just in the north of Kabul. There's about 4,000 people, 500 families. They were displaced by the recent conflict. For this camp specifically, we're the only organization there. And it's more important now than ever before for people to kind of stand up, to think about Afghanistan, to speak about Afghanistan, particularly when it comes to women's rights and community events like this with such incredible support. That's what really gives me personally hope. It gives me drive to continue the work, and, we'll do it until the very end.
I say, women are braver than you men of Kabul.
So we were really lucky to have a number of actors return to the project. One of them was Wahibi Musa, another is Majid Shakur, Osama Sami, and Carolyn Brazier returned for the kind of the lead role of the homebody. She carries a near 50-minute monologue at the start of the play. So the play is comprised of two parts: Homebody, Kabul. The homebody is her story, and it was originally written as a one-act piece.
When Chris reached out to me, I just immediately said yes, because of the fact that it was raising money for Afghanistan, and the theatre company and the amazing people who were going to be involved in that incredible cast, and just to be of use in some tiny way.
We were able to bring in Simon Burke, who plays her husband, Milton Sealing, Geraldine Hakewill, who plays Priscilla Sealing, her daughter. So with the actors who returned and then the opportunity to bring a few new actors into the fold, absolutely, it was really a dream cast.
In secret collusion with these men, that mullah, that doctor, with Reuters, for Christ's sake, she invented that horrible death so that...
This is the first time we've done a Zoom live stream where none of the actors were in the same room as each other, so that presented its whole new series of challenges for us. Things like, well, we've got a couple of performers in regional Victoria, and their broadband is not quite as strong as someone, say, here in Sydney, so trying to kind of level that out and find a platform that makes everyone look pretty good.
This is the second time I'll be doing a virtual reading. It's kind of nice to be able to do a more subdued performance because it's so close and it feels like you're kind of going into people's living rooms.
So yeah, this is my first virtual play. It's the complete opposite of everything that theatre is, but it was really rewarding, and but then it's frustrating in the end, because then you just turn the computer off and that's it.
If there aren't any delays and glitches, I actually find it quite easy. You're still seeing the actor opposite you. everyone is still giving it their all. So I don't struggle too much. It's obviously nicer to be face to face, but it's a great alternative.
And we had a few people give virtual standing ovations, which was lovely to see as well, kind of offer that over online.
I guess the way that we overcome technical hurdles is very similar to what happens when something goes wrong on stage. You just keep going. The show must go on.